Sponsored by Is Your Child Struggling to Get a Higher ACT Score? Milani Educational Concepts can help. Executive Producer Brian Hertzock. Presents Bobbie Clark. Education, current events, and topics that affect you.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. Today, our guests are Gwen Dixon. She is the Executive Director of the Louisiana Film Academy of Technology. And Susie Labrie, actress, musician, and citizen activist. Welcome to the both of you.
Thank you.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the film industry. And Gwen, you are in the process of establishing a film actor studio or school?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
tell me about it.
Well, let me give you a little background if that's okay.
Sure.
Well, when I left here after Katrina, I moved to Ohio. And while in Ohio, I started and I established my business again there that I was doing here.
So what were you doing here? And were you in New Orleans or Baton Rouge?
I was in New Orleans.
Okay.
And at the time before Katrina, I had a business, a nonprofit, and also a mortgage company. And when Katrina hit, I moved up to Ohio to be with my sons and their families. And once I was up there, after 3 years, I got homesick.
Okay, were you working in the film industry while you were there?
No, I had a consumer credit counseling agency. I opened it there, the one that I had in New Orleans.
Okay, all right then. So let's talk some about the school. What is the school open now?
No, we have not opened yet. We're planning on opening by the fall of 2014.
Oh, that's very close.
Yes.
Okay. So you excited about that?
Oh, yes. It's a lot of work, but it's exciting.
So tell me about the students. How do they enroll? I'm sure many students would love to find out that they have the opportunity to attend a film academy of technology. That sounds pretty interesting.
Well, yes. Our students, the ages will be 18 and up. And they will get a technical certificate saying that they have been able to train on different equipment. They will become crew people, that they'll work behind the cameras. And we will train them lighting, camera, editing, audio, and we're going to be introducing video gaming.
Well, that sounds very interesting. So I suppose that segues right into what Susie does, which is acting, and also you are affiliated with some other companies or organizations that would blend into what Gwen is doing. Is that right, Susie?
Exactly.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, we have a lot of film industry meetup groups, such as the Louisiana Producers Meetup, which meets in New Orleans. And I have the Baton Rouge Film Industry Meetup, and and also had the Louisiana Filmmakers Meetup, and the other meetups.
Now, what is a meetup?
A meetup group is where it's for network, and where it's a network where people get to know one another and know about each other, know one another, and it's also a central hub of information.
So that means that if I want to know what movie is going to be shot next, I could be at one of these meetups and possibly find out that information and see if I might be able to get a job, huh?
You can.
Okay.
We post casting calls back in the day before mycastingfile.com came out. The casting people would look for extras, and they would let us help them look for extras, like, oh, there's going to be some job openings, movies coming up, or announce there's a casting call coming, or if you want to be in a movie, you could You could join mycastingfile.com right now, and so yeah, we get a lot of work through the information we get at Meetup.
Well, let's say that someone in the listening audience is like, wow, I'd love to be an extra. What would they need to do?
Right now, you join mycastingfile.com, and most all the casting directors here use My Casting File to find extras. And Batherson Casting. Batherson is the only one I know of that doesn't use it. So those are the two things I tell them. Also, and ask them to join the Meetup groups, and also I ask them to friend me on Facebook and join a few Facebook pages like Bill Rainey's Casting Couch, or The Whole Intent, or any of those.
Now, the first one you mentioned was My Casting.
It's mycastingfile.com.
F-I-L-E?
It's mycastingfile.com.
Okay, mycastingfile.com.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And the other one is BattersonCasting.com.
How are you spelling that?
BATHERSON.
BATHERSON. ERSON.
Casting.com. You got to register with them, and you fill out a profile, and you have a profile, and then it's very required. You have to have your picture, a recent picture of yourself, on these sites.
A recent picture. Oh, so when the
headshot.
person goes onto the site, they are putting
They're uploading their picture.
Okay, and they're going to do
It's
a headshot.
how they look, and it's how they look. You know, we don't want something that's not you. We want to know how you look. Just you.
Okay. That sounds so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there are many of our guests who just have never, you know how everyone has the idea that maybe one day they'll be in a film, but they never think how the film industry has exploded in Louisiana. How did that come about?
At first, the film industry, there was a film industry way back in the 20s and 40s when the camera first came out.
In Louisiana?
But the influx as it is today, it started right in the early, I started in the movie industry in the mid-70s. And it was very, very light back then, and it proliferated in the late 80s and the early 90s, and it really, because of the tax credits in 2002, which was their birth year, it was exponentially enhanced and grew.
How many movies would you say have been shot in Louisiana?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds, probably 1,000 now. The more and more, it's hard to keep. In fact, I'll tell you something, it's hard to keep
hold
up.
that for me. We're going to take a brief break here, and we will be back in just a moment with Let's Talk About It.
Sponsored by, is your child struggling to get a higher ACT score? Milani Educational Concepts can help.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Our guest today, Susan Lavery, who's an actress, musician, and citizen activist. And Gwen Dixon, who's the executive director of the Louisiana Film Academy of Technology. And we're so pleased to have them in our studio today as we talk about the growth of the film industry in Louisiana. So Gwen, I know you've said that you're opening a school so that our community, folks in the community can attend your school and come out with certification. Tell me more about that.
Well, let me just give you a little background on our students and how we're looking to get them in. A lot of our students are people 18 and over. If they're in the film industry or they want to be in the film industry, they usually may go 4 years. And it will take them the 4th year before they have a hands-on experiences.
Now, where would they be going for that 4 years?
Usually a university like UNO, or 2 years with Delgado, but they do not learn what the crew needs to know. And what we do, when they first come in, they start working on equipment right away.
Oh, that should hands-on.
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't have to worry about all of the courses and all before they get their hands on a camera. And so what we're looking for are people who are interested in the film industry and they're looking to make more money. Because after graduating, they can make from $15 an hour to $27 an hour. And we encourage entrepreneurship also.
Now, what does that mean when you say you encourage entrepreneurship?
Well, a lot of people in the industry usually have their own operation, like if they're editors in the film industry, audio, that sound, you know, you have to have sound for pictures and all that, so for films. And what we want them to do, if they are interested in the industry in one particular phase of it, it might be gaming, they can make a lot of money being their own boss. So they would be self-employed. And we would also give them information on how to run a business.
I understand that the University of New Orleans has taken part of its computer science department and turned it into gaming. The computers that make sure that the students are well versed in that part of it and doing video games and all of that good stuff.
Well, what they have is their 4-year program. By the time their students get out, our students will have finished 3 years earlier and they will start getting jobs. So our program is a year long.
Tell me about the technology part. I know you mentioned the one phase, but is most of what your school will be going to be in the technology area? Or because you're looking mostly there, you're not looking at acting, any of that, right?
No.
Okay.
They will work behind the cameras. That's crew people. All the things that crew people would do would be like camera work. They will do sound, electrical, and different things like that. So what we want to do is to actually help them to get those positions.
Will they need prerequisites? Will they have to have had some experience in those areas prior to coming to your school?
Not necessarily. What we're going to be doing after 6 months of training, they will get an opportunity to work on a film lot. There will be a large one that's coming to New Orleans.
And what's it called?
I can't give that out right now.
No, you said a film block?
No, lot.
Oh,
a studio.
Okay.
Film studio.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be able to get firsthand knowledge of using the cameras by working in the film industry and working on films.
So they'll be getting on-the-job training.
Yes.
That's neat.
Yes.
Well, now we see, Susie, how all of this blends together. And tell me about, I know we talked about your meets that you have. How would someone who's interested in becoming an actor or actress, how would they get started? Knowing a new film is coming to town and they feel that they would like to try out. How does that work?
Okay. We play as a central hub of information. We have like about 5 or 6 meetup groups. Louisiana Producers Meetup, Louisiana Filmmakers Meetup, Baton Rouge Meetup, Lafayette Meetup, Shreveport Meetup.
Now, are those on your website?
I have a list of all meetups, film commissions, schools, magazines, and everything on my own personal website, which is louisianasunshine.net/filmlinks.html. Instead of answering questions, it's easy to give that out. It's more or less a central hub of information.
Okay, would you do it slower so the audience can hear and write it down?
Yes, I have on my website, I have a web page of hot links that has all the meetup groups, schools, film commissions, and magazines. And it's louisianasunshine.net/filmlinks.html.
All right. And we'll be taking that down so that we can have it to flow afterwards so that the audience will be able to see just what that website is, just in case they're interested. And I am sure we're going to have quite a few of the listening audience calling because are checking into it, because you often hear of the community talk about, well, how did they get that part? And they said, I wish I had known about it. And I remember someone mentioning, usually when you find out, the movie is over, you know. So it would be nice to have an opportunity to know how all of this gels and how the community can become a part of it.
To be an actor and an extra, let's say being an extra, you register with something called mycastingfile.com.
Okay, mycastingfile.com. We're going to take a break here, and we will be back in just a moment with Let's Talk About It.
Sponsored by, is your child struggling to get a higher ACT score? Milani Educational Concepts can help.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Our guests, Gwen Dixon and Susie Labrie. And we're having a great conversation about the film industry. Gwen being the executive director of the Academy, and they are putting together all of the activities to start a school here in Baton Rouge. No, in New Orleans. Okay, the school is going to be in New Orleans. And Susie, who is an actress, musician, and a citizen activist. What instrument do you play?
I play rhythm guitar, a mandolin, and I'm learning to do lead work on the mandolin and a dulcimer and upright bass.
All right.
And I sing and sing harmony, and I sing in choirs, and I like to being a recording artist.
Multi-talented. That's great. That's great. That and acting. Now, I recently saw a film you were in where there were students and you were the school principal. What was the name of that movie?
The name of that movie was Cheeky. I was the school
Cheeky.
principal. Cheeky, that's the gentleman's nickname. Clarence Nero is his real name, and they called him Cheeky when it was in school.
And when will it be out?
I don't know. When we finish a movie, we never know.
You never know.
I don't know.
It's out of your hands after you finish.
Yes, so I have no idea. I'm the last to know.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, you think that the actresses know all of that, what's happening, and basically it is you do your part and you move on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. And then it's the cutting and putting it all together.
Yeah, post-editing and then sponsorship. I mean, you have to get the money and fundraising. It's hard. It's a big effort, and you just never know. Something looks like it may not get off the ground, and it gets off the ground. You just never know anything like that.
So you mean you could do a film, but that's not the end? It sounds like you're saying that's the beginning.
Yeah, the acting part is the easy part. It's the post-editing and the fundraising, and it's very, very difficult. Distribution is most important. So you just never know. And, you know, a lot of businesses have a lot of confidentiality, and the actors and extras and some of the crew members don't even know, because you never know. We can't predict the future in that way. You try to with business plans and all, but you just never know.
Well, it sure sounds interesting. It is something that you never think about, and so it's so good to find that you guys have brought this here and what is happening with it. What's one of your favorite movies?
I enjoyed doing Blaze, and I enjoyed The Pistol, and I enjoyed Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I enjoyed Walk the Line, and there's so many of them I enjoy the local movies that involve the things that I'm interested in.
And likes and dislikes working in the movie industry, what would you say?
The hard thing about it is getting up early in the morning, but that goes with the territory. You're on set at 6 a.m. rolling because you have to have the sun up. You work long hours, which I like. I don't like to do something short and then hop around, but when I go somewhere, I like to stay still. Sometimes some of the movies can have bad accommodations, like bathrooms might be too far away or something like that. But that just goes with the territory. Most movies is very comfortable to work at. What I like is the people, I like the sets. It's like being on a trip. You go to places you would never otherwise go, like different mansions, homes, fields. It's like going around the world. It's fascinating. Beautiful hotels, swanky places. Then you go into swamps and places you've never seen before. Imagine it ever existed. It's really interesting.
So, is housing provided when you're on set?
Not for extras.
Not for extras.
Usually they do local, but sometimes when the casting director knows you. I've been to Shreveport. I've been to Natchitoches. I've been to Canton, Mississippi, Memphis. And I went to one in above Austin, and but that's like a vacation to me. But they don't provide transportation or housing, but they do provide you food on the set, because it's cheaper to cater than to have all the extras go out and get their food and come back, because time is of essence on a movie set.
Yes.
And the actors get provided shelter and transportation. It also depends on the budget level of the movie. Low budget movies don't, like the independent world where I work. And
so basically, we're looking at actors. They are provided housing, but extras, they have to find all of that for themselves.
Right, and it's mostly local. They prefer to do local people.
That way they're already at home.
A few of us, like Charlotte and Jonathan Jones, will come in from Natchitoches, or myself, or Tim Hickey. We're known all over. We go all over and be an extra anywhere and everywhere. So, and it's just, instead of going to a beach baking in the sun, we'd rather be going on movie sets. I'd like to go to Nashville and Atlanta and all in the future, or the district, or whatever.
Well, that sounds good. I am excited about the potential, and it sounds like the film industry has been going well for many years now.
Yes.
So it's like we are just going to keep growing this and get more and more of the community involved.
Exactly.
Now, are the actors, do they usually come from out of state right now, or are most of them, any of them local?
Los Angeles.
Mostly Los Angeles.
The actors, they call them names. Names is what brings the money in. Names is what sells the gate. They're coming in from Los Angeles. We need to do something about locals turning into names. Louisianians.
Yes.
Gwen's doing everything she can, because we need to be educated. We need to know how to go on auditions and act. At one time, most everybody was wet behind the ears, including myself. I started taking classes with Valika Gray and Jerry Katz and many others, and I've been studying under Valika Gray for years, and I come a long way. Not only acting, you have to know the business side of acting. You have to know the business side of acting, such as having headshots, knowing how to have the proper resume, knowing what to put in the resume, and auditioning skills. You might act, but if you don't know how to audition, you could just forget it sometimes.
Well, now, that seems to be a quandary here, because what you're going to be doing is the technical side of it. So who helps with the parts, getting your resume together and knowing the things that you just suggested that the actors need to know? How do they get that done?
Your acting classes is one, and then there's websites, and we also like to share that information. When meet up, somebody says, Susie, I need a resume. I'll say, well, I may help them with the resume. We help one another and so forth. And also I'm encouraging schools such as UNLO or LaFayette or many other schools, because education is of utmost importance here. We have to be educated and know the trade. That is of utmost importance right now. I was focusing on the tax credits and getting that through and getting it maintained and protected. But we need to educate Louisianans and have Louisianans work ready. Not only the knowledge, but to keep up with the times, because post-editing is much different than what it used to be.
Hold one moment. We're going to take a break here, and we will be back in just a moment.
Sponsored by, is your child struggling to get a higher ACT score? Milani Educational Concepts can help.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Our guest, Gwen Dixon, Louisiana Film Academy of Technology, and Susie Labrie. And Susie is an actress, musician, and a citizen activist. And they are both involved in the film industry, which is really unique. We know that there are many films that are being shot here in Louisiana, but I know you probably have asked yourself many times, how can I become even an extra? How do they do that? How do they find out what's going on? These ladies here, they're the ones to tell us. And we're so happy to have the opportunity to talk with you and to find out just how the community can get involved and what kinds of things that they need to know, that they need in their resume that would better suit them for a film that's coming to town. So what is the next film? What is there one? I'm sure there's one that's here now and probably several that are on the way. Can you tell me anything about that, Susie?
I can tell you about that and also how to find out. I think Focus has got some things coming up, and they've been filming, and there's a lot of movies. There's something called the Louisiana Film Hotline provided by the Louisiana Film Commission. And when that comes out, they'll send it to me, and we'll blast it out on the meetups and the Facebook and all that on my Facebook page. And
Great.
and Bill Rainey's The Holden Tent and many other groups. And those are the movies coming up. Now, this is for people behind the camera only. Extras that will go through their extras casting, that you have a few extras casting companies going with my casting file, and then there's some that are not. So, but that's the information about the movies coming to town.
Well, that is, it's so interesting because when they're looking to cast, of course, everyone doesn't fit every movie. So
Right.
it's interesting. You need to know what movie's coming and whether you qualify or have the I suppose the panache for what they're looking for. It's interesting watching movies, and it's another to be on a set, I'm sure. But it's, as you say, it's very tedious, a lot of work.
It's not tedious for me. I love it. It's like a vacation to me. Some of the hard work is standing up long hours, like on a street corner. But there's a lot of sitting, going to restaurants, and anything you see in life you have. And your looks is what gets you there.
Thank you so much. And we're going to take a break here, and we will be back with Let's Talk About It.
Sponsored by, is your child struggling to get a higher ACT score? Milani Educational Concepts can help.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. Our guest, Susie Labrie. She's an actress, musician, and a citizen activist. And we're going to talk about that citizen activist part. And also Gwen Dixon, Executive Director of Louisiana Film Academy of Technology. And I know how excited the community is going to be to know of the city of Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas that there's going to be a film Academy of Technology in Baton Rouge starting in 2014 that they're going to be able to enroll. How many students are you able to take?
We will be enrolling first 30 students. We'll see how many people we would be able to take, at least 30. And we will be opening in New Orleans.
It will be in New Orleans,
Yes.
Okay, all right. And is there a cost, or will you have grants? How's that going to work?
Well, we are applying for our nonprofit status, and we will have scholarships for those who are unemployed and underemployed, so that they would be able to attend the school.
Well, that sounds good. All right, you're hearing that. So make sure you listen out for Gwen Dixon, Louisiana Film Academy of Technology, as the progress goes forward towards the opening of the school.
Yes.
And is it going to be called the Louisiana Film Academy of Technology?
Yes, it is.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay. Also, Susie wanted to ask you about the citizen activist part of your job description. What's involved there?
Well, it's all volunteer, and it's because I love politics. I love going to the state capitol and the state legislature, and I was looking for a cause all my life to be able to go and bat for, and I advocate in two areas in the interest of autism and Asperger's, and the big one I do is to create, protect, and enhance, tweak the Louisiana film industry tax credits.
And what does that involve?
The biggest part of it is grassroots organizing. The people need to contact the legislators, and it's all about the numbers. So I'm good at going back to the districts and going back to and tell the rank and file people to contact their legislators. That's how legislators work, and the governor. You don't go to the governor or legislator yourself unless it's your own legislator or governor. Mm-hmm. And what I like to do is get the people back home and encourage them and teach them how to contact the state representatives and state senators and governor. That's
so did that have a lot to do with getting the film industry coming to Louisiana? Oh, very
That's
good.
what I hear. So I don't know what the impact is, but I don't know how much impact we have, but I will tell you, we're involved with the Louisiana Film and Entertainment Association, LFEA.org, and they have a lobbyist named David Tatman. David does all the talking at the state capitol, and I do all the talking back home. By the time I get to the state capitol, it's over for me. I understand or hear that they have broken a record with 7,500 contacts to Baton Rouge this year, which is pretty high.
So that 7,500 contacts, that is coming from where?
All over the state of Louisiana.
All over the state of Louisiana.
People have contacted their legislators, and that has never done that before.
That's awesome.
And we've got a lot of people involved.
That's good. Well, it seems to be bringing quite a bit of money to the state. Do you have an idea about how much the film industry is bringing to the state?
It's supposed to be, I would say, $5. It was supposed to be $6, but because the whole economy dropped across the board, $5 for every $1 that the state puts up. The state gets back $5.
Oh, that's excellent.
Not only in the front, but the ripple effects, like your allies, like your grocery stores, your real estate, wardrobe cleaners, food and beverage, restaurants, hotels and motels, and on and on and on and on. The ripple effects could be very deep, could be 10 levels deep.
So what are some of the popular movies that the audience would know about that have been filmed in Louisiana?
Well, Battle L.A., there's so many movies. I don't remember the name of the one that was at the Capitol. Grudge Match. What was that one?
And you have the Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes in New Orleans.
New Orleans, yes.
Okay.
Secretariat in Lafayette. It's just so many. It's thousands of them. I could go on.
And they're
on.
filmed all over the state, or mostly in New Orleans?
Yes.
Well, mostly New Orleans, and in Baton Rouge it's really increasing, and Lafayette's starting to get on the map, and Shreveport because of Katrina, and so those areas. I'd like to see some more done in Alexandria and Monroe area, and I'd like to see a thriving industry across the state, because the state is so different in every parish and every city.
That's true.
All different, so they will not really be competition of each other, because Shreveport will have what New Orleans doesn't have, and New Orleans has what Shreveport doesn't have, and Baton Rouge and vice versa. They're different cultures here.
Well, Gwen, have you ever had a part in any of the movies?
Yes, I've been an extra.
You've been an extra.
Yes.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, but it's long hours. You know, what you see on the screen for hour, 2 hours, or whatever, it's nothing compared to the things that you have to do when you're out there filming. It's long, it's tedious, and you have to love what you do to actually be there.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It really does. But it sounds like something that really is making a difference in Louisiana, and that is the core of what we need here. It's really helping with the economy, and if you're looking at bringing in more jobs, and now we're looking at having the the academy. And so I know you say you're starting with 30 students. What is the end goal you're looking at, and what period of time do the students, are they enrolled for how many years?
Just 1 year.
1 year.
Yes. And our students, well, we will start with 30. And probably the next year we'll have up to 100 students. So we're hoping, we'll see, we may have time to have more.
Okay, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back in just a moment with Let's Talk About It.
Sponsored by, is your child struggling to get a higher ACT score? Milani Educational Concepts can help.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About It. My guest, Susie Labrie, and she's an actress, a musician, and a citizen activist. And also with us, Gwen Dixon. She's executive director of the Louisiana Film Academy of Technology. Now, Gwen, one thing I wanted to know, what courses are the students going to be enrolling in?
Well, they're going to come in, the first course will be Introduction to Camera and Lighting. They have to know how to use a camera and also about lighting before they can go into learning about editing, because they'll be doing their own editing on whatever they shoot. And then we'll have sound, and they'll have a whole film that they'll do in a short, like we were talking about before.
So they're going to produce their own film?
Yes.
Do they do it as a group?
Yes. They will take turns. They'll be in groups, and they will do a short film. And what they'll do is write their own script.
Oh, how neat.
So once they write the script, they'll get a course in script writing or screenwriting. And then they'll work together. We have the video gaming, as far as them learning how to do computer games, and they will know, that's the big thing now.
Yes, it is.
The gaming is very big. So they'll have an opportunity to learn how to do that also. But with the screenwriting, like we were saying before, older people can learn how to be screenwriters. And this is how the movie gets started. First, you have to have a story. So this is something that we would like to see in Louisiana more, have writers, screenwriters. We don't have that many here. So we are teaching our students that they know how to actually do a script.
Well, that seems really, really interesting, because I was thinking that it was more technical, but it's going to be both.
Yes.
That is really neat, because definitely if you're a screenwriter, you're really starting to get into a great area.
Oh, yes.
And there are loads of writers in Louisiana, so we should be able to find quite a few people. You're probably going to have, your 30 is going to be, folks are going to be, you filled already? Don't you have any more slots open? I can imagine how challenging that's going to be, selecting who your first people, your first 30 are.
Yes.
So you're going to have to hurry and get some more money.
Yeah. So we're hoping that if it's not 30, if we do get the donations we're looking for, we will be able to have more than 30.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes.
It's such a great program. It would be so awesome. Well, back to you, Susie. Tell me about some of the movies that you've been in.
Oh, I've been in almost 300.
Almost 300.
As an extra, I was in 290 movies.
Wow.
I've been almost every film that was ever made in Louisiana as an extra. And as an actor, I've been in a lot of student films and small independent films, and also participated in a lot of contests. I'd say about a 20th so as an actor meeting, the speaking part.
You said a contest. What does that mean?
Like the 48-hour projects. I've been in 4 of those, and right now I'm in the middle of a 48-hour music video project that's fixing to come up. I'm getting ready to enter that contest. And The
And
48
when
hours.
you say enter the contest, what exactly are we talking about?
The 48 hours, it's a global or international organization where they have a contest over the weekend. You have to do the whole 10 yards in 48 hours
Of what?
of a movie or a film, and it has to be a 4-minute to a 7-minute of a
So
film.
you've developed this film yourself?
Oh, not me. No, I'm an actor in it. But
You're
you join,
an actor.
You join a team, and if the team will take you, and that team has to make it a film.
And they'll have four
In 48 hours, you have to have the beginning of the film, the pre-production, and all in production and the post-production, all in 48 hours.
my. And then in the end, there's a committee that selects who did the best film?
Yes, we have audience awards, and then you have experts that judge it, just like any contest. And
Interesting.
yeah.
The industry is full of so many things that we as the community are clueless about. And I'd never even thought about anything like that. And that is so very interesting. How does all of that segue into what happens in the academy?
Well, as far as the movie industry and what we're doing, it's very important that we are getting our students ready for the outside world.
Yes.
Because Hollywood is a small family, Hollywood, New York, and so we're the third biggest producer of movies.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. But we felt that we needed to have our students to actually work on a studio lot so that they can get that experience, and also they'll be hired. People from Hollywood will be coming in and working on the studio and doing films and all, and our students will get an opportunity to put in and help and work, and
they'll be recognized.
Yes. And
So
if
it's
they're-
important that they're on their toes all the
Yes,
time.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes.
So we're going to be working very hard to make Louisiana the place to be for our people, because they're bringing in people, their own people, to do everything, but we want Louisiana not just to be third, we want to be first.
And to see that the population of Louisiana is in some of those big jobs.
Yes,
And so right now, they basically are bringing all of the talent with them.
yes.
So that's why we hear about the monies that come in, but it isn't what it could be if the population of Louisiana were the ones who had the positions.
And they have to be trained.
And they have to be
Yes.
trained. That's where you come
That's where
in
we
with
come
the school.
in. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't. I would think that it would be something that should attract loads of people who would be interested in making sure that the academy, came to fruition, because it's definitely something that's very needed.
Oh, yes, because we will be the only proprietary school in Louisiana who's actually doing this. Nobody else is doing it. Some of them, they'll have their 4-year, like I said before, courses, but not directly hands-on, so we will be the first.
Thank you so much, Susie and Gwen. Thank you so much for being on today. And thank you, my listening audience, or my viewing audience. Today, we had an opportunity to really hear about the film industry and to see just all that's involved with it. There's a school that's coming up, an academy where you will be able to participate. And as Gwen Dixon mentioned, it is not just for teenagers or for kids who are just coming out of school. It's for all ages. So I encourage you to take advantage of it. We are going to be leaving you with some numbers that are going to be scrolling that you will be able to call and take advantage of this opportunity. As Susie mentioned, many of the film industry bring their folks with them. This is an opportunity for those jobs to be for Louisiana. So the better we're suited and the more we know about it and the more we get ourselves in place to take advantage of these jobs, then it's going to make a difference here. And I encourage you to really take advantage of all. Look, you've got extras, you've got actors, you've got the behind the scenes people, the technicians. All of that's going to be available or is available here in Louisiana. And we have first dibs. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you again on Let's Talk About It.